Namaste, welcome to Arthaniti. Today I am going to talk about some news in the international market and some domestic news which are going to impact, say, the inflation or the prices that we have to pay for goods and services in India, and a domestic news which is going to impact our investment decisions. Right? Let's start with international news first. What I want to talk to you today about is the EU ban, the EU sanction on the Russian oil, crude oil sanctions that came into effect on the 5th of December. Now, the European Union region and G7 collectively have put in a price cap for Russian crude oil that sails through Russia to the rest of the world. What that ban actually is, the EU has set a price cap of $60 per barrel for crude oil, seaborne crude Russian oil. Now, what this sanction means is the maritime services, say such as insurance of the oil tankers which carry the Russian oil from the Black Sea through the Bosphorus, which is a strait in Turkey, to the rest of the world. Right now, this sanction essentially means is only if the Russian oil is sold at below $60 a barrel will the insurance that is required for the vessels be given to such oil tankers who are carrying Russian oil. Now, most of the insurers, say such as Lloyd's of London, are based in the Western countries. Now, if insurance is not given to these oil tankers, Turkey in effect is asking for an assurance that the insurance cover which is given to the oil tankers will be in place for any tankers carrying oil passing through the Bosphorus. Now, Bosphorus Strait is the only way out of the Black Sea and major Russian ports to the rest of the world, right? So when Turkey is asking for an added assurance from the insurance companies, which they have not given till now, many oil tankers have anchored near the Bosphorus and the number is piling up. Right. So what the European Union essentially is doing is they are making sure that the Russian oil is not completely banned from the market, but it is available at a lower price, thus reducing the revenue that Russia gets by selling its oil. Correct? On its part, what Russia has been doing is it is quietly acquiring a shadow fleet of tankers. It is said, many news reports have said that Russia over the last 1 year has acquired, purchased nearly 100 oil tankers so that these sanctions are not effectively implemented. Correct? Because of this shadow fleet, what is going to happen is instead of relying on foreign fleets to carry their oil, Russia will put in place its own oil tanker fleets, and insurance will be provided by Russian companies itself for these oil tanker fleets, which will then pass through the Bosphorus and reach the rest of the world. Now, shadow fleets are not new, right? Where countries like Iran and Venezuela are face sanctions. These fleets have been in use where products from these countries find a place in the global market thanks to these shadow fleets. Correct? So, Russia on its part is trying to mitigate or reduce the impact these sanctions will have. Now, many economists are of the view that the $60 price cap that the European Union has set is not much of a deterrent, and Russian oil will still find its way to the global markets. Now, if you see this news for India, how is it going to pan out for India? Well, until the war broke out in February, Russia was one of the smallest exporters of oil to India. correct? But after the Ukraine-Russia war has begun, Russia has like features in the top 5 oil importers in India. Yeah, I will show you a graphic which was put up on Money Control, which shows that Russia today is part of the top 5 oil exporters that India does business with. Correct. So, Hardeep Puri, the petroleum minister, has said that this ban will in no way impact the supply of oil to India. Why? Because Russia is not the only source from where we get oil, but we deal with 39 countries for sourcing our oil needs, correct? And this particular oil, these particular sanctions which have been up on 5th of December relate to crude oil. For refined oil such as petrol and diesel, the sanctions will fall in place in February. Now only the time will tell whether these sanctions really impact or hurt the revenue that the European Union think that the sanctions will result in, or Russia and its shadow fleet will overcome these sanctions and still see that the oil reaches its buyers and its revenue stream is impact. Correct? Because if there is an impact on the supply of crude oil in India also, obviously it is going to have a negative impact on the prices. We will see inflationary trends if these sanctions are implemented and work the way EU has thought of them. Correct? So only time will tell how these sanctions will impact countries like India and China, who have been purchasing at a very large scale from Russia after this war has started. Correct. The next domestic news that I want to share with you today is the RBI Monetary Policy Committee, which increased the bank rate, which increased the repo rate by 35 basis points. Now, this is one of, with this, what has happened is the repo rate has increased above 6%, and it is at a highest level since 2018. Correct. Now the impact of this repo rate obviously is going to be on the FD rates and the loan rates that banks offer to its customers. With every increase in the repo rate, FD and loan rate also increase. Okay, and with every decrease in the repo rate, the FD and loan rates go down. Now with this increase in the repo rate, what is going to happen is the RBI in its press conference, the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das reiterated that this is not the last, or we haven't seen the peak of the rate hikes. So if you are of the opinion that even though inflation has tamed compared to previous months, the last inflationary data suggests that inflation has come down compared to previous months, we are nowhere close to seeing a reducing rate cycle. Yes, it is time and again the World Bank or the RBI in its press releases have said that inflationary trends will follow not only in 2023 but will be also in place for some part of 2024. So these rate hikes, if you are of the opinion that these rate hikes are have peaked and the rates will start to go down, yeah, it is not going to happen in the near future. Max to max, what is expected is the rate at which the hike has taken place will reduce and we will see flattening of the hike curve. In the sense, the rate will not reduce at the same pace from where it was. They were increasing since May, but the rates lowering down also is not a possibility in the near term. Now, how this will impact our investments? If you have invested in debt mutual funds, or if you have invested in fixed interest earning securities, like investing in them for a medium term duration is what is expected to give you better results, right? Why am I saying this? Why? Because this rate hike is there to stay as per the RBI estimates. So rates coming down in the near future is not a possibility that you should think of right now. If you have invested in FDs or debt mutual funds, a time horizon of 1 to 2 years will fetch you better returns, right? In tomorrow's video, I will tell you about Bharat Bond ETF, and how it is a good investment opportunity in such times of rate hike and consistency in rate hikes. Okay, so do look out for that video tomorrow, and I hope the news that I shared with you today added some value to your investment journey, right? Until tomorrow, stay safe and see you. Goodbye.